Thinking about selling your business? Well, now could be the time. Hi, I'm Tom Burns, business broker with the Deal Firm. Since 2008, I've helped business owners navigate the selling process. I've sold all kinds of businesses, from restaurants to law firms, to music schools, and even a fishing resort. I'm a business owner myself, so I understand what this process means to you. Your legacy deserves the right hands. If you're ready to sell your business, call me at the Deal Firm today to write your next chapter.
And welcome back to the program. I want to welcome Adam Gilman and Tom Burns from the Deal Firm. Welcome to the program, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think the first question is, what's the Deal Firm?
We represent buyers and sellers navigating the process of buying a business.
Okay.
And it's somewhat complicated, but it's like a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. For residential, we do the business side.
Okay, so now these are business people in general already, so, I mean, one might think, oh, these guys are business people, they know how to sell a business, but it's a whole different animal as opposed to what maybe your company might do, right?
It is. Businesses are a little bit more complicated than, let's say, selling a house. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we go in and we provide an opinion of value for business mm-hmm. owners, and hopefully, once we meet with a business owner, we can help them plan their exit strategy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And are these folks who are maybe aging out, they're, hey, it's time to go, or they want to move, or they're just I've done this for 20 years, I want to try something else? Is it kind of a variety of folks you guys get to deal with?
For sure, yeah. The baby boomers, we're certainly looking at, they're retiring, mm-hmm. they want to get rid of their businesses, they've had them for a long time, and it's time to move on. So that's where we step in, and we help them sell their business.
And Tom, you're a resident right here in the village, so you run into a lot of those folks, I'm sure, on a regular basis.
I do, yeah. I leave my card.
You have your card. I already got your card. I got to start a business now, so I can deal with you someday. Is there a great time to sell a business? Is right now a good atmosphere or a bad atmosphere? Or, economically, what's going on here in Southern California?
Well, it's
up and down.
Mm-hmm. It's up and down, but it's really a supply and demand issue. Mm-hmm. There's always a surplus of buyers looking for businesses and not enough sellers on the market.
Okay.
So to some extent, the sellers somewhat have an advantage when they come to market.
Okay. And when you guys step in terms of being a broker, is that one of the roles you play? Is finding those buyers and matching those up with the right sellers and those kinds of things?
Yeah, we find the buyers. We vet the buyers, mm-hmm. so we don't waste time for the seller or ourselves. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's a process that takes a while, and we have to be careful, because oftentimes I've found I'd be getting inquiries from buyers that I thought, okay, this is a legitimate buyer, and he turns out to be a competitor of the business I'm representing.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be careful what you do and who you talk to.
Okay. So Adam, I've decided to sell my widget company after 20 years, and I'm going to open up my books to you. How does the first meeting go with you? Is it kind of an introductory and have an understanding of what we do?
It is. The first meeting is really, it's introductory. It's also exploratory for both parties, mm-hmm. right? So we want to sit down and just start to understand the nature of the business and chat about their books and, what service or product they offer, and just get a basic understanding of, how long have they been in business? Mm-hmm. What's their role in the business? Mm-hmm. What's their timing in terms of when are they thinking about selling their business? Mm-hmm. The average time it takes to sell a business is 7 to 9 months.
Okay.
So if someone's thinking 2 years out, it's really probably a good idea to start, now.
Okay. So Tom, if I'm deciding, hey, 2 years from now I'm going to sell my business, and I might be bringing a broker in on that deal sometime in the future, what should business owners do in terms of make their company maximize their value, make it look the most attractive to a buyer? Mm-hmm. Are there things you advise folks to do as they ramp up towards a sale?
Well, transparency is number one. Mm-hmm. The books and records should be squeaky clean. Oftentimes they're not, and that type of business will take longer to sell. Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of just they're not doing the best practices in terms of accounting, right? Is that what you mean by
exactly.
Hey, we need to be able to go there and vet this kind of thing?
I have one thing I always try to advise sellers is that try to make your business not so reliant on yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I had a business once that did that, and the entire business was the salesperson. You know,
And so he goes there.
So if that salesperson goes, there's nothing to sell.
Okay. Well, on that note, Adam, are there certain businesses in terms of in this area that are more primed to sell or easier to sell, or are there hot businesses out there?
It's really on a case-by-case basis. I mean, we sell restaurants and flower shops and manufacturing companies, service businesses. It's a pretty broad stroke in terms of type
Fishing
of...
resort, how about that one?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was a good one,
That
by
was a
the
good
way.
one, I know.
Are there some that just don't lend themselves to an easier sale? Like if I'm in an X business or a Y business, it's like, oh, this one's, usually when we have these businesses, they go pretty smoothly and that kind of thing, or is it, like I said, case by case?
It's case by case. There is a high demand for service businesses and manufacturing companies, but a lot of the types of sales that we do are restaurants, retail shops. Definitely, majority of our business is Main Street and some lower middle market businesses.
And those Main Street businesses, most people are purchasing a job, really. You know?
Yeah, they come in and they're gonna take this over.
They're
and
gonna work it themselves.
Their new job. They're their business owner. They're their own boss, so to speak. In terms of like you said just a moment ago, like hey, a competitor came in and tried to kind of jigger up a deal a little bit. How important is privacy and confidentiality when you go into these deals?
Yeah, non-disclosure agreements are important. They're necessary. You don't want somebody to find out this business is for sale. That's which has happened to me once. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And the seller was so mad. My gosh. Yeah, it's very important. Confidentiality is top.
Unlike a house where, you know, when you're selling a house, it's public. But
Yeah, you want everybody to know. Okay, more buyers coming in and that kind of thing, right?
correct. But when you're selling a business, it's when you're looking online, for example, for a business, all the summaries and that information is written blindly. So it just says, you know, XYZ business for sale, and but it doesn't. We don't provide a business name or anything like that. So there's a process.
Try to disguise it as best you can.
Yeah, there you go. What are some of the things that folks don't realize? They're business owners, they're in the industry, whatever it is, but they don't realize about the complexity or the challenges that of selling a business that you guys kind of take care of for them.
Well, they find it's very personal and very emotional. You've had this business for many, many years, and all of a sudden you're preparing to give it up, and it's something you don't expect.
Yeah, and does that go into play in terms of valuation? Some people say, "Oh, this bit is worth more than that." You know, can people get kind of feel like a personal attachment to the valuation?
They do. You know, it's and it is emotional. Someone's owned a business for decades. Could be a legacy business, you know, passed on down from their parents or grandparents. But part of our job is to take the emotions out of the equation.
Oftentimes you find their expectations are way too high. You know, they think this business is worth this much, and in fact, when you do the numbers, it's a big surprise.
Right. There's when it comes down to the raw numbers
Yeah.
of the business, it's and then that emotional factor gets in there a little bit in the
Exactly.
way sometimes. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see like business owners make before they come to a broker? Like they've tried to do themselves. Like I'm going to sell this. I can figure this out. I'm a smart person.
Well, I think that I think it's a mistake to try to negotiate directly yourself as a business owner. I think it's advantageous to one, get a valuation done. So if you go to market yourself, statistically speaking, you'll leave money on the table. So you start with an opinion of value, get the third party involved, what we're called business brokers. And that'll give you a big advantage before going to market.
So what are some of the biggest issues you guys tackle when you have that first initial meeting in terms of kind of getting past the learning curve and the understanding of what you guys do?
I think that business owners oftentimes don't understand it's a process. There's certain details that they need to be attentive to. Tom had mentioned books and records. When we start the valuation process, we go through every single line item expense in their P&L, and we ask the business owner questions. You know, for example, a restaurant, some of the biggest costs are food and labor.
Right.
Why is your labor cost, for example, running 40% when the average for a restaurant is, say, 32%? So these details that we go through with the business owners will help them better plan.
Right, they can actually, if they can adjust those numbers in the months before they actually make the sale and get those things right, that can actually add value to the sale, right? If you can help them with some guidance there.
The cleaner the records, the cleaner the business is operated, the faster it'll sell.
And do you find sometimes people are like, oh, opening up my books and you want to see my numbers? It can be a little personal for folks, right?
Yeah, that happened to me just yesterday. I had a listing appointment, and we talked, and he called me back, and he said, you know, my wife doesn't want to reveal our income tax returns at this time. I thought, well, forget it then.
Yeah, that might be a little problem in terms of transparency in the sale. All right, well, lots to learn from these guys. The deal firm, it's called Adam Gilman and Tom Burns. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.